We're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into it. We are going to get right into it. We are going to get right into it. And we got Donald J. Trump pulling the mask off, guys. Donald J. Trump pulled the mask off. We thought he was, man, he played it so well. He played it so well. We bought into it. Guys, the entire country bought into it. They're like, yes, Donald Trump, the savior, the stopper of all wars. He's not a warmonger. Donald Trump is going to save the day, except when his boss Benjamin, and don't get me wrong, I'm cool with whatever Trump's doing aside from the whole Israeli issue, but when his boss Benjamin Netanyahu stepped foot into the Capitol, Donald J. Trump pulled the chair out for him, guys. They had him on a podium with the presidential plaque or whatever it is on the on his podium. Like, usually the president is only supposed to have that plaque. They treated him like royalty. When he pulled up on Donald J. Trump, he was pulling the chair for him, guys. Just real dehumanizing shit. And the reality of it is, not only did he double down on supporting Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza, he's actually going to get he's going to be directly involved. We're going to be directly involved in that entire conflict. So now he wants to acquire Gaza, and he wants to push out the Palestinians into neighboring countries, which they've resoundingly told him that that's not going to happen. All right, because we know the ploy. You know, they're going to push him out to Jordan, Egypt. Oh, shit, Hamas is in Jordan, in the Sinai now. Now we have to invade the Sinai. Oh, they're in Jordan. Hamas is in Jordan firing rockets. We're going to have to invade Jordan. You know. And so he succumbed to it. And, you know, let's just be all the way honest here, guys. We are under occupation by these people. And the reality of it is, there's really nothing that he can do. I personally think that, if he doesn't do as told, he will be taken out. And there was actually a situation here where Donald J. Trump, Netanyahu gave Donald J. Trump a pager. All right, he gifted him a golden pager mounted on a slice of felled ancient olive tree, which was used this was a terrorist attack on Lebanese civilians that maimed women and children, such as this individual here. All right, so he gifted Netanyahu that golden pager. And people are saying that he actually gifted him another. So he gave him the golden pager, and he gave him another pager, which was the pager used by that were carried by the Lebanese civilians. He gave that to Trump, right? And people were kind of looking at that sideways, like, why is he? What's this? What is this supposed to mean? See right here, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu presented U.S. Donald Trump with a golden pager and a regular pager. Trump responded, "It was a brilliant operation." The U.S. President gave Prime Minister Netanyahu a photograph with the dedication and inscription, "Bibi, a great leader." So he's giving him all types of gifts. Look, guys. We could look at body language and we can read the room, right? We're smart enough to read the room, right? Who looked like they were in charge? In that room, who was really in charge during that room? It looked like Trump was reading off a script. Benjamin Netanyahu was fact checking his. He was looking at him. He was giving him all these snarls and these looks, like looking at him like he was a piece of shit. And then he gives him the two pagers, and people are looking at that like, why is he? And why did he give him two? Like, he gave him the golden placard one, and he gave him another one, right? And people are saying that's symbolic to him telling Trump, like, hey, do as I say, don't fuck me over, behave, or else, right? We know how to get to you. So I personally think, and by the way, Trump's whole rhetoric with Netanyahu has changed. I think, I don't know when it was. I think maybe right after he lost to Biden, there was a video floating around of Donald Trump cussing out Netanyahu, like really disrespecting him, calling him a son of a bitch. He's a bullshitter. He's a pussy. This, and that. And now he's changed his tone, and he seems a little bit more subservient. You know, he seems more submissive now. Okay. Anyways, let's get into this interview here. So the war criminal Yoav Galan, who's convicted by the International Criminal Court, has admitted a few interesting things in this. He did this interview in Hebrew, but people are caught onto it and started translating and putting it out. And he was admitting to a lot of shit that, you know, we didn't really know about. He started telling it all. And this is one of the clips here. So they ask him, to confirm the use of the Hannibal Directive on October 7th, and to which Yoav Galan said the Hannibal Directive was implemented by the Israeli occupation forces, a procedure that says to shoot and kill where there's a vehicle with Israelis or possible hostages. So let's get into this clip really quick here, man.
כשאתה רואה את השיירות חוצות את הגדר עם חטופים ישראלים, גם לשאול מה עובר לך בראש, וגם נוהל חניבל זה משהו שאתם חושבים עליו באותו רגע?
נוהל חניבל, רק נגיד, הנוהל שאומר לירות על מנת להרוג כאשר יש רכב עם חטוף ישראל.
Procedure that says to shoot and kill when there is a vehicle with an Israeli hostage.
אני רוצה שתבינו שהיכולת של שר ביטחון לתת הוראות
Want you to understand the ability of the Minister of Defense to give operative instructions.
בלוח זמנים שהכל קורה היא דבר...
In a schedule that everything happens, a very limited thing.
ניתנה הוראה לנוהל חניבל?
אני חושב ש...
He says, asked him, was the instruction given to give out directive, the Hannibal Directive, was that given out as instructions during the October 7th text? I think that tactically in different places it was given, and in other places it was not, and this was a problem.
באופן טקטי במקומות שונים ניתנה, במקומות אחרים לא ניתנה, וזו בעיה.
כשאתה רואה...
So here he admits that the Hannibal Directive was implemented on October 7th, because there's, you know, everybody studied the situation. They said that, hey, Hamas only killed maybe, you know, possibly could have only got to 300 to 400 people. What happened, you know, where are the other 700 people that allegedly had died during this whole operation, like where did they go? And a lot of people have been attributing it to and especially there's eyewitnesses on the ground saying that Apache helicopters in the air were killing actual Israeli civilians to avoid any hostage takeover situation, right? So he admits to the Hannibal Directive. A lot of these cats, like, they get on these you know, channels and in these interviews that they do in their language, and they assume people won't find this stuff, right? But this is X, baby. This is getting transferred everywhere, translated everywhere, right? So he admitted that the Hannibal Directive was used, and not only that, so he confirms that and this I mean, again, I'm gonna play this here, but well, we'll get to that in a minute. So he admits that they were defeated by Hezbollah, right? Israel's Yoav Galan admits defeat to Hezbollah. Netanyahu was pretending that we were superior to Hezbollah, but in reality, in the field says otherwise. We were unable to advance and did not reach any of Hezbollah's true power. On the day of the assassination of Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, Hezbollah struck the depths of Israel with hundreds of missiles as if nothing had happened to its leadership. Hezbollah's leadership is complex and consists of networks and individuals of whom Israel has only identified 20 out of 100. The battle with the party is long, and Hezbollah's capabilities and tunnel networks are still unknown. What is being said in the media is nonsense. So, he's saying that Hezbollah is, I mean, and you gotta think, like, Hamas's tunnels are, people have been saying that they're as long as the New York Railroad Station. Like, it's one of the most sophisticated tunnel system that anybody has ever seen. Right, even Joe Biden admitted this. He said this is incredible. Like, there was no way they thought that these people could build such a tunnel system that's like it's like impossible to get to, and it's very complex, and they're the weaker of the two. Hezbollah has they've had in Lebanon they have a little bit more wiggle room. They have more resources, weapons, an even more sophisticated tunnel system, and he's also admitting like we were begging for that damn ceasefire, and Netanyahu at one point admitted to Yoav Gallant. So this is another admission he makes in this interview, which is also very interesting. He says that Netanyahu was scared shitless to start a war with Hezbollah, and even let me pull it up here because this is some interesting shit because he's spilling the beans, man. That boy's spilling the beans. So he says that Netanyahu and him were looking at the skyline of Tel Aviv, and Yoav Gallant was trying to push for like a war with Hezbollah, right? And he was trying to push for a war with Hezbollah, and Netanyahu, he said he leaned over and told him to look at the skyline, right, and said they will literally destroy the entire skyline. Like this will be gone if we go to war with Hezbollah, right? And Yoav Gallant said he looked at Netanyahu like he was he said he was scared, like he was he didn't look like a leader. He's like, what the fuck is this, man? He looked at him like he was he was a pussy, which he is, and Yoav Gallant is as well. Another interesting shit. This guy's spilling the fucking beans. So he makes another claim here, which a lot of people have talked about this earlier. That they've already kind of exposed this, but it was never admitted on the Israeli side that the hostage deal could have been done October 8th. They could have got all their hostages back, and this whole shit would have been over with. So Yoav Gallant is saying here that we could have had a hostage deal months earlier at a lower cost. It says the deal was sabotaged by extremists, mainly Bezalel Smotrich, who wanted more concessions from Hamas. Don't say that the delay worked to Israel's advantage because I was the one who wanted to attack Hezbollah from the earliest point possible, and they were the most dangerous enemy. So he's saying that he admitted that these extremist weirdos, Bezalel and the other dude, Gavir.
בוא נדבר על החטופים.
Let's watch the clip.
ממשלת ישראל עשתה הכל כדי להחזיר את החטופים?
אני לא חושב.
He says, I don't think so. Did Israel do anything as much possible to bring the hostages? He said, I don't think so.
היינו יכולים להביא יותר חטופים, יותר מוקדם, במחיר יותר נמוך.
ההסכם שאנחנו רואים אותו מתבצע בימים אלה. הוא בגדול, כך אומרים האמריקנים, כך אמר גם מזכיר הממשלה, בקווים כלליים, ההסכם שהיה גם על השולחן במאי, שאתה תמכת בו.
Right, so the same deal that they had already made in May, right, is being agreed to months later, and thousands of lives lost. The same deal they're making.
ההצעה הזאת של תחילת חודש יולי שחמאס הסכים לה, זהה להצעה של עכשיו, רק פחות טובה בכמה דברים. יש פחות חטופים חיים לצערי, עבר יותר זמן, ואנחנו נוסעים פה במחירים יותר כבדים, כי יש לפחות עוד 110 רוצחים שישוחררו בתהליך הזה. והפגיעה באתוס הישראלי.
אז מי אשם בזה שזה לא קרה? אז.
לדוגמה, תקחי את האירוע של חודש אפריל. הוא מסביר את כל האירוע. בקבינט המלחמה מקבלים החלטה פה אחד שהולכים לעסקה שבמהלכה יוצאים מציר נצרים, ויש מפתחות שונים לשחרור החטופים תמורת אסירים. זה קורה בשעות הצהריים. בשעות הערב, או אחרי צהריים ערב, יש דיון של קבינט. נכנס שר האוצר סמוטריץ' שלא מכיר או לא אמור להכיר את התוכנית, ואומר, יש תוכנית להחזיר 18 חטופים תמורת יציאה מנצרים וכן הלאה. אנחנו נתנגד לדבר הזה אנחנו נצא מהממשלה וכן הלאה.
מי סיפר לו?
אינני יודע, אני לא סיפרתי לו.
So he says there was a deal already agreed on to release 18 hostages back in July, which was a less costly and horrific deal for Israel, where they didn't have to release more Palestinian prisoners like they have to now. And the guy Bezalel Smotrich, who's this like right-wing Zionist religious, I guess I don't think he's religious, but he's like this extremist, I guess, this extremist Jew. He's like the ISIS of Jews. Says that he didn't want to go through with the deal. He says he's going to leave the government, right, if you pull out of the Netzarim corridor.
אנחנו אמרנו למערכת הביטחון, אתם צריכים להביא 33 חטופים, ומספר המינימום הוא 18. המספר שיצא אחרי כן, שעה, שעתיים, שלוש אחרי כן לתקשורת, 18. כך יום, יומיים, שלושה, חמאס הבין על מה מדובר מהתקשורת הישראלית, ואמר, אני חוזר בי מהעסקה, ולמעשה העניין הזה התנפץ, והוא חוזר רק בסוף מאי דרך נאום הנשיא.
האם מישהו מדליף את זה מהקבינט לסמוטריץ' כדי לסכל עסקה?
אני לא יודע מי העביר למי, ואני, תראו, בתקשורת אתם מבינים יותר ממני, ובהדלפות בוודאי שאתם מבינים יותר ממני.
אבל יאמר נתניהו, אם אני הייתי עוצר בנקודה שבה יואב גלנט רצה שאני אעצור, אז לא היה רפיח, לא היה מחוסל סינואר, לא היה מחוסל נסראללה, כל הדבר הזה לא היה קורה.
קודם כל היחיד שלחץ לחיסול חיזבאללה.
First of all, the only one pushing for Hezbollah's elimination
ולהמשך הלחימה בעת
was
הגזענית.
me. He says it was me. So he later on says the only person that was pushing for war with Hezbollah was him, right? And that everybody in his cabinet, and including Netanyahu, was petrified of. And by the way, that whole 30-day war with Hezbollah, right? Let's just be completely honest here. They didn't. It was a tit for tat. Still, even regardless of it being, I guess they could call it like it got a little bit more intense the last month. It was still tit for tat. The amount of damage that they can inflict on Israel, Tel Aviv, they didn't use their most, their doomsday weapons, right? None of that shit was used on Hezbollah's end. Let's just put that out there. So all these fucking weirdos on X and stuff like that saying, Hezbollah's completely suppressed. They lost. I'm not supporting anyone, by the way. I'm just, I'm stating facts here. That they were completely suppressed and they were, they took a huge loss and they were pushed back and they lost all their leadership and stuff like that. All that shit is baloney, man. And even he admits it in the interview. He says, like, this whole talk about they took out Hezbollah, was none of that shit actually meant anything because they didn't even take it to that level. Hold on, I'm reading on the person confession. Yeah, so this is another clip here. I guess he's talking about it's in Hebrew though. There's no translation, but he says, he says, Netanyahu, to whom Gallant tried to convince the need for an attack on Gaza and Hezbollah by showing the city buildings from the window of his office on the second and third floors of the Prime Minister office in Tel Aviv, said, Hezbollah will destroy all the buildings that we now see in front of us. The dude was scared shitless, dude. He was scared shitless, right? And now he wants to go to war with Iran. Yeah, you're going to see the back of my ass. He's going to sit there and try to threaten Trump, right? He's gonna try to threaten Trump to go to war with Iran, or he's gonna take his ass out, right? And the thing with Trump is, guys, a lot of people don't want to talk about this shit, but there has been, regardless, we know 2 assassination attempts that were, I guess, televised, that they're on the media. Guys, there's been CIA agents coming out saying that there was at least 10 attempts, right? And that there are attempts almost on a daily basis now. And they could be as small as like this guy. There's a dude here who was dressed in all black. He tried to climb over the White House screaming, "Fuck it." Let's watch the video here.
Bro, yeah, wait now. I gotta get it.
He's gonna make it. Is he stuck?
Yeah. Oh, shit, is right there.
Here comes Secret Server. They swarm the
Look at
shit.
the dogs.
They swarm the stupid ass.
What did we get here in the right spot? Tap of that mother. Oh, you arrested now.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, this area is going to be closed. Start going either way.
So there's been stuff coming out pretty much on a daily basis, like some guy just jumping into trying to enter Mar-a-Lago. Like there's been 3 or 4 people randomly trying to jump over to Mar-a-Lago while Trump was there. There's been situations where people are saying that there were suspicious people around Trump, as he was walking in the casino in Vegas. So there's a lot of shit that's going on. And I think that they have deployed an army of motherfuckers trying to really take out Donald Trump, and it's kind of, it's very, because everybody's kind of like doesn't want to really want to talk about it, but it's there, and that Trump is, guys, a lot of people that still hate him, he's under a lot of threat, and even Trump kind of realizes it. He even made the comment that he would, in his words, obliterate Trump if he were assassinated. And we have another situation here I want to talk about. So, with all the shit that's been going on with, the whole anti-Semitism bills and stuff like that are being passed, all this, you can't say Free Palestine on certain platforms, or, you get your whole shit demonetized, or et cetera, et cetera. So we had a situation where now, they're trying to get on Tucker Carlson's ass. They're trying to get on Tucker Carlson's ass because he's been saying some. He's doing his thing. He's doing his little independent media gig, or his little podcast that's only on Rumble, and he's been, talking some, I guess you could say common sense when it comes to the Israeli topic, right? Like why, what's the reason? How does it benefit us? Shit like that. Now he's being called over to the White House. Right, he's being hauled in. Like they told him, you better fly your ass out here ASAP. He did a whole interview with Piers Morgan in Saudi Arabia. Right, and he made some comments, some slick comments towards Israel there, and the Israelis are fucking livid. So they hauled his ass over to the White House, and who knows, they're about to spank his ass. And people are saying it has to do with him being, him being furious with the establishment's stance on Israel. Conversation. And he doesn't even really say anything that's like off the wall. He says that he supports an Israeli state, but he's been talking about, Ben Shapiro. And the dude is very influential. I mean, like, you drop a clip to look at this fucking clip here, has 5 million views. And he's not even saying anything really that crazy. He's just saying, like, hey, I think Ben Shapiro's a nut job because he's beating its chest at, little kids dying in Gaza.
If you're intentionally killing civilians, you probably shouldn't beat your chest and brag about it. Maybe you could make. I agree with that. Maybe you make the case.
Ooh, I didn't hear this part. He said intentionally, so that
killing civilians. You probably shouldn't beat your chest and brag about it. Maybe you could make. I agree with that. Maybe you make the case that we had to do it or whatever, but you should. I agree. You should weep, and that's evil, and you should just say it's evil. And I know it's really threatening to. Is it evil? Ben Shapiro to say that or whatever. But is it evil to kill civilians on purpose? Yeah, it is. I think it is. Really? Kids and children. Well, how is it not actually? In a war? We can call it whatever you want. How is it right to kill women and children?
I didn't say, well, because I think there is a moral right behind you if you are literally...
To kill women and children?
If there's a world war that threatens the entire... If it threatens the entire world, yes.
Some people killed your kids, like your 8-year-old? Like,
well,
how
your
is
own
that
children,
morally justifiable?
Well, because actually you have to... Well,
here's Piers Morgan doing this. See, Piers Morgan. Look, but one thing I can say about Piers Morgan is he understands like what bad PR is, and he knows how to control the conversation in the interview. He knows that what Tucker Carlson just said right there he's gonna receive a lot of backlash. And it's not going to be a good look for him. It's going to fuck with his pocketbooks, right? And Piers Morgan spotted that. And I know Piers probably agrees with Tucker Carlson because he said it many times, and on his personal X page, and when he talks to he does interviews abroad and stuff like that. He agrees with Tucker Carlson, but he's flipping the script on Tucker Carlson. He's reading the room. He's saying, dude, you just said that they intentionally killed women and children. Whose side are you on? Now to them, you sound like a Palestinian,
by your criteria.
It's disgusting.
Okay, so no war is morally justified.
I mean, I think it's pretty hard to justify. I mean, yeah, I'm
Any
sure,
war.
A pure defensive action, sure. But all I'm saying, look, it's all ugly. It's all hard to stomach. I've actually seen some of it up close, super ugly.
You can say you hate it.
May I finish?
The fact you quibble with it being morally justified.
To intentionally kill non-combatants, women and children, I think we can say that's wrong. In fact, I thought that was the thing we were fighting against.
Yeah, Piers Morgan tried to save his ass, but it's at 5 million views, so they called his ass straight up to the they told his ass to take, they brought his ass into the White House. Hey, what's going on here, sir? You want us to pull the plug on you too? Right? You want us to put a little sex scandal or a little child predator charge on your ass? Throw you in the prison cell with some dudes that'll make you have you doing their laundry and shit. So that's what that is, guys. But anyways, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below, man. Yeah, it's it's a crazy world we live in. All right, y'all. Peace.